Hello, I'm Sarah Simi, and this is PullOut. And today we've got OK and High magazine, my favourite. And this is from August the 7th, 1976, and we're back to 10p. Some of the headlines on the front are Disco Dazzlers. Now, I've looked ahead at Disco Dazzlers. It's a little bit creepy. Anyway, I'll explain that when we get to it. And also Say It With Flowers, a beautiful OK look for you. And a super feature, which is When You Know He's the One. So that's good. So diving straight in to the We're OK news and views and happenings. I was just thinking earlier just how black and white the magazines are. I've sort of taken it for granted now. I've looked at so many, but you suddenly, it really is quite depressing when every feature and every picture, well, not every, but certainly an awful lot are in black and white. Anyway, really doesn't sell anything to you. Anyway, this is a little bit of gossip about Patti Smith. Just there. It's a bit weird, so I'm just going to read it out. Patti's free and easy. It's a real experience to see Patti Smith. One of the most interesting things about this dynamic rock poetess is that she can rap to the audience for 15 minutes easily and naturally. When we went along to see her, she told us that when she was young, she was scared to put her hair in a ponytail because she was worried about what other people would say. Now, after years of struggling, she's realised it doesn't really matter what they say. Perhaps we should all think that way. We'd be far better off. Yeah, I know. It's a ponytail. I have no other thoughts. And this, I had to pick this out because look, it's Denim. Oh, Denim aftershave. Oh, Denim aftershave. Get him into Denim. The manufacturers of a new men's toiletry range claim that 64% of girls want their men to smell okay, as opposed to like crap, I suppose. And in fact, 60% of all men's toiletries are bought as presents by girls for their blokes. That doesn't surprise us in the least. After all, there's nothing worse than going out with a pongy person, is there? If you're in the mood to buy your fella a Prezi, why not try something from a new range called Denim? On sale at Boots and large chemists, talc costs 49p and the cologne £1.95. Who knows, he may buy you a Prezi in return. Oh, I'm so reminded of the Denim ad. Oh, it was fabulous. I might look it up later. Anyway, this really reminded me of the Denim aftershave. So moving on, this is Say It With Flowers, which was mentioned on the cover, which is a fab picture of a girl with flowers in her hair, which was a big 70s look. They're really obsessed with the countryside, and this is all about smelling sweet. So it's get some OK scents and be sweet smelling for summer. OK, act naturally. Be yourself, soft and pretty, and let yourself feel really feminine. Take yourself out into the country and surround yourself with wild green flowers and lush green grass. Feel the country air. It's always so clean and fresh, so allow your skin to breathe. Keep your makeup natural with just a touch of pinky blusher to add a rosy glow to your cheeks. Leave off your foundation and powder and be a real country girl. It's like the countryside is a completely different world. And no one really goes there. It's very funny. Keep your eyes soft by blending subtle shades of eyeshadow together with soft moss greens. Use Mary Quant Peep Eyes, 85p, in jungle green and earthy browns. Mix together with Biba, powder tints in rust, 85p. It says to set off your soft makeup look, wear your hair in gentle curls. You could even make a daisy chain to wear around your neck, wrists or ankles, or wear flowers in your hair like our model. Once you're in the country, God, enough with the country. Once you're in the country surrounded by sweet smelling flowers, it's natural to think of scents and to know okay look is complete without your favourite perfume. Yeah, I just don't get the obsession with the whole that the country is a different place. Anyway, moving on, let's go to okay, it's all yours, which I always enjoy. These are readers' letters, etc. This, sorry, made me laugh. This is your messages. These are the very short little messages that you can write in. This is Gary from Shelley. Gary, thanks for the memory. Sorry you left the party early, but hope to see you in the ring bar. Lots of love, Shelley. Is Gary dead? Or is that a euphemism, do we think? He left the party early. Or perhaps it was just actually a party. I think I'm reading too much into that one. This is to Dave of Flame. Please can you tell Dave of Flame? What's Flame? That it was really great meeting him on the boat that night coming home from Belgium. Oh, this is quite exotic. Tell him I remember him and love him forever, and tell him to write soon. Love and kisses, Julia. Oh, this one's a bit sad. To Mark of Bearsden. Love you always, Mark N. Please notice me. Karen H. of Bearsden. Oh dear, that's sad, isn't it? Oh, that was a classic. This one really made me laugh because I am ginger. and and obviously we're not supposed to go sunbathing. So this one really made me laugh. So somebody has written in, you asked for it, got something you want to know, then ask us. I'd like to have a nice tan this year, but I have ginger hair, blue eyes, and my skin is very fair. So as you've probably guessed by now, I burn very easily if I'm in the sun too long, and blister too. My parents don't believe in cosmetics that make you go brown. And I'm getting envious of my family because they tan nicely each year. And that's from Lisa Cheshire in Southampton. Now, I think the advice should be stay out of the sun, ginger one. Oh, but it's not. Naughty, you must have missed our July the 10th issue and our special sun tanning feature. However, just for you, there's no starting. Sorry, when you're starting off a tan, there's no point in sitting in the sun for long periods because you will get red and sore. The best way is to start off for 15 minutes a day and then gradually increase the time. Make sure you protect your skin with lots of cream. A new one on the market is Ombre Solaire Ultra Screen, £1.5, which you can buy from all good chemists. Or just don't go in the sun if you're ginger, would be my advice. Just a quick, this is My Okay Guy, where you can send in a picture of yourself. It's a teeny tiny little black and white picture of the couple. She looks quite miserable, and he looks a lot older than her. Looks about 45, frankly. He's got quite the moustache. My name's Karen, and I'm writing to tell you about my okay guy, Paul. He's 21, and he's a painter. I don't know if that means painter and decorator or artist. He's quite small, with blue eyes, a cheesy grin, and a cheeky wink. He lives 6 doors away from me. So as you can imagine, I've known him for a number of years, and I've been going out with him for 16 months. The picket I've enclosed is taken at Ribchester, where we went camping with some friends last Easter. Bye for now. Lots of love, Karen. Oh dear. And also, this has occurred to me, is that the lack of photograph taking. It's like, here's a picture from last Easter, quite some time ago. You just didn't take pictures in the way you do now. This is Swap Shop, and I just picked this out because the description of what they wanted to swap was just so lovely in the 70s. I'd like to swap a pair of blue high-waisted cord trousers, size 12, in VGC for a denim waistcoat, skirt, jeans, or jacket, all size 12. Any offers? Write to Rebecca Judge, Station Road, Norfolk. This one, this is bra swapping, which is a new one on me. I've got dozens of 32-inch A and B wired plunge bras, nearly new, and I want to swap them for 34-inch ones of the same type. Obviously, she'd grown a bit. This is my first delve into bra swapping. Please write to Dorothy Carr, 7 Argyle Street, The Mount, Yorks. Please send me an SAE. And this one. Can't you just see these trousers? I'd like to swap a pair of purple trousers decorated with star motifs. Oh, fab. Size 12 for any denim clothes. Catherine Pearson's, Old Timbers, Bearsted Green, Kent. Oh, I enjoyed the bra swap. Right, we're on to a problem page. Hurrah! Heads up, there's some more petting coming up. My favourite thing. Okay, who have we? Oh, we don't know who's answering these, but let's crack on. They mustn't find out. 3 months ago, my friend and I went to a party. My friend paired me off with this boy that I'd fancied for a long time. We went up to the bedroom. Don't we know where this is going? We went up to the bedroom where we proceeded to pet heavily. Why does that always make me think of petting zoos? And yet it does. We proceeded to pet heavily. During this time, the parents of the girls giving the party walked into the room. I am frightened that they will tell my parents and that they'll be very upset and angry. What can I do to stop them finding out? That's Anne from Monmouthshire. We're not sure who must have been more embarrassed, you or them. However, since they caught you 3 months ago and haven't mentioned it yet, it doesn't look as though they're going to. However, as you're still worried, we think it might be a good idea, as well as good manners, either to go and see your friend's parents or write them a note and say how sorry you were to embarrass them. There's no need to be explicit, but a polite letter might prevent them from mentioning anything next time they see your parents. When they mention the petting they saw. This is the next one. She's wrong. I've met this lovely boy. He likes me a lot, and I like him too, but my mum won't let me go out with him. He comes round every night, but it's no fun with my mum and my sisters sitting there all the time. No, it wouldn't be, would it? Only my eldest sister understands. My mum says he only wants he only wants one thing off me, but he's told me that he wouldn't do anything to me. He has been out with girls, and he has never touched them. That's from Sue in Quant. Anyone think he might be gay? Oh, what's the answer? It can't be much fun getting to know a new boyfriend with half the family sitting around listening to your every word, can it? Can't you ask your mum if you can compromise, such as the two of you going into the kitchen or the dining room? That's very middle class, isn't it? You go into the dining room. Or somewhere just so that you can be on your own. We're sure she'll see that even if you were tempted, you aren't likely to get up to anything with her in the next room, are you? And maybe she'd let you go on a date with your boy if you went out with a group of friends that she knew and liked and trusted. Mums often do this, even if they don't like their daughters going out alone with boys. All you can do is ask anyway, and it won't hurt, and it might make things better. I've got a feeling the boy isn't going to touch her at all. That's what I'm saying. Oh, dear. This next one isn't it ridiculous? We are two desperate girls who need your help. Last Saturday, we were out with two boys in a pub and we were caught by the police drinking whiskey. We're underage. Oh dear, this is quite serious, isn't it? I like the way it's whiskey as opposed to anything else. They came round to our homes and told our parents, and now our parents won't allow us to go out ever again. We understand how they must feel, but we can't even talk to them. And they don't seem to realise what not being allowed out means to us. My friend is deeply worried because she may lose her boyfriend. We both realise that this was a wrong thing to do, and we would understand if our parents had refused to allow us out for a month or two, but this total ban seems ridiculous to us. That's two OK readers in Scotland. Oh, that's why they were drinking whiskey. Oh, the answer is drinking in a pub when you're underage is a pretty daft thing to do because, apart from anything else, it often means that the landlord gets into trouble as well as you. But we can't think that your parents have put a permanent ban on your social lives. We suspect that they mean to teach you a lesson, and maybe that lesson is not to know when they'll let you out again. Still, treating you like kids won't improve your behaviour, we think, so we suggest that you try and have a talk with your parents together, if you like, and try to show them how sorry you are for what you did and how you understand how they must be feeling, and ask them to try to trust you again. I'm sure that they will, if you can show them how mature you can be. That's quite a strong reaction to some whiskey drinking. This is the last one I'm picking out on here. This is What Are My Chances? This is a bit... Anyway, I'm 16 and I fancy... Oh, no, that's okay. I read it that she fancied one of her dad's friends, but I misunderstood. It's okay. It's not as icky as I first thought. I'm 16 and I fancy the son of one of my dad's friends like mad. Goodness, that was quite complicated. I've seen him about 6 times since Christmas at parties, which his father has organised, and each time he has asked me to dance. They were the best times of my life. Oh, bless. One of Gordon's friends, I don't know who Gordon is, perhaps he's in Scotland drinking whiskey. Who knows? One of Gordon's friends told my friend that Gordon liked me. God. So what a chance do you think I have of going out with him? And that's Karen in Nottingham. We think you have a very good chance indeed, so long as you can find a way of asking him out yourself. We think that Gordon sounds like one of nature's shy people, and those sort of people usually need a bit of coaxing and encouragement, even if they don't need an actual direct invitation out before they'll make a move. Just because Gordon hasn't asked you out, it doesn't mean to say that he isn't interested. In fact, it sounds to us as if he is, very much. But we think that even if you're shy too, you're going to have to ask him, because Gordon may well never get round to doing it himself otherwise. I don't know why, I'm just seeing Gordon in Scotland drinking whiskey. So, moving on. This is a very serious advert for having spots. This is just for a spot cream, which is kind of okay, and not that unusual, I guess, in a teenager's magazine. But it's just really serious. The title is The Best Years of Your Life. That's a good joke, as if being young meant that you didn't have a care in the world. People really don't seem to remember how personal things like those spots that come just when you don't want them are enough to ruin a nice weekend. Is that all right? Very serious. Anyway, you can get Valderma, which Valderma is a spot's worst friend, which you can then buy. Then you can have a nice weekend. I've moved on to the Disco Dazzlers, which is the aforementioned fashion page. And unusually, there's a man, a rogue man has arrived into the fashion pages. I also like, the fashion and the typography and everything is fun. There's a call out for Club 1830, which has got some fab writing. It says, okay, if you like lots of fun, lots of things to do, and lots of places to see while you're away, then Club 1830 holidays are for you. It says, find out all about them by writing to them at 100 Oxford Street, London W1. Oh, God, I miss writing in things. Yes, this is Disco Dazzlers. So, yeah, and we've got a rogue man. And I couldn't work out what he was doing in this picture. Because he looks like he's biting into something, and then I realised that he's actually got the girl's hand in his mouth that he's biting. A little bit weird. And also, oh, by the way, I'm loving the Disco Dazzlers typeface. But there's one picture that made me laugh so much because it's not even ironic. He's actually just looking at her tits. It's like, did they not think of not using that picture? He's just staring at her tits. Anyway. Yeah, that's when that was nice in the 70s. Oh, that made me laugh. Anyway, moving on. I just wanted to. Oh, it's Sally's Super Guys was the next bit I wanted to. I think Sally's feeling particularly horny this week. She's really gone into one. So she's picked out three lovely men. This one is John's Just Fine. One of my favourite songs, you know, the kind that leaves a lump at the back of your throat, was She's Gone, and it was sung, if you remember, by American singers Daryl Hall and John Oates. I think the boys are extremely handsome, and their stage act is so polished it leaves you wishing something would go wrong. My personal favourite guy is John Oates. I find dark and moustached gentlemen rather tempting. I must admit, especially when they're smooth and American. I assume she means smooth as in charming rather than smooth as in hairless, but I don't know. She's so horny, it could mean anything. Hope these boys come back to England very soon. There's a nice black and white picture of the aforementioned John Oates. Anyway, she's really enjoying herself this week. This one is entitled Brian is Heavenly. Do you remember a guy called Brian Prothero? Prothero. He wrote a song, Pinball, and had a hit with it last summer. I've just seen him in a very lively rock and roll musical called Leave Him to Heaven, and it's currently showing in London at the New London Theatre in Drury Lane. Before coming to London, the musical was at the Watford Palace Theatre, so you might have seen it there. Well, only if you live near Watford. Okay. It's a really fast-moving show, and Brian stars as Conway Terry, a boy who rockets to fame as a rock and roll star after throwing away his school books for a career in music. If you're a lover of the songs from the early 50s and 60s, then you'll enjoy bopping around in your seats. Personally, I couldn't take my eyes off Brian. He put so much energy into the show, and although he's... Oh, Sally, rein it in! And although he's quite a tall fella, large, with a very good figure, he does cartwheels around the stage. Oh, and even leaps into the stalls. You have to watch him all the time, otherwise you could miss something really exciting. Okay, I do love it that they give no information of where these shows are on. It's like, make it up yourself. Lastly, she's picked out Best of Beckinsale. Ever since I saw Richard Beckinsale play Geoffrey in The Lovers on TV, I've been one of his greatest fans. More recently, I've seen him in Porridge with Ronnie Barker and Rising Damp with Leonard Rossiter. Both programmes, I'm pleased to say, will be back on our screens in the autumn. Oh, I remember watching both very much. So, being a big fan, I was really pleased when a friend of mine rang up one day and said she'd got tickets to see Richard's latest play, Funny Peculiar. And it was funny too. I laughed all the way through. Richard plays the part of a shopkeeper, Trevor Tinsley, whose wife is more involved with the running of their shop and caring for their babe, well, it doesn't say baby, than looking after the needs of her loving husband. Of course, as all women should do. When the attractive Mrs. Shirley Smith moves into the neighbourhood, Trevor's troubles seem over, as she appears to share his liberal way of thinking, especially on the subject of love. But it's never that simple. And Trevor gets into a real tiz when his wife finds out that he's been delivering a bit more than groceries. Naughty but nice. And Richard Beckinsale was at his best. I particularly love the way Richard gets into muddles without even trying. Sounds just like me. And I think he's very good looking. Don't you? I'm going to look forward to seeing the new programs of Rising Down. Oh, Sally, come and have a cold shower. I've moved on to What's OK. They do like to say OK an awful lot in OK magazine. And there's some fab, lovely 70s illustration in here. It's a random bunch. It's okay to go out kite flying on the beach, flying high as you can. I mean, I don't know. It's okay if you're allowed to go away on holes with your friend. It's okay to wear a turban to protect your hair from the drying effects of the sun when you're sunbathing heavily. This is an okay hotspot. This is a band called Flintlock. Lovely, aren't they? Our favourite this week are Flintlock, and no wonder their concerts are fantastic. They were in Croydon recently. Ooh, the glamour. And the fans blocked the streets. Traffic was halted, and the police were called in to restore order. Meanwhile, the boys had to make their exit over the rooftops. They're bloody Mary Poppins on me. Such is the life of superstars. How did they make their exit over the rooftops? Bizarre thing. And don't forget to watch out for the boys' next album to be released by the end of the year. I never heard of them. This is slightly weird. This is Hello, I'm Becky, and I work in the fashion department, which is fine. And it says, it starts, as you've probably noticed, my hair's been looking a real mess lately. Well, how? I'm friends with her. And I've been trying to grow out a really tight curly perm. Well, I decided to do something about it, so I went off to see one of our favourite hairdressers, Patrick from Molton Brown, and for the last couple of months he's been working at it. It's a real bore, though, because every time it grows a little, I have to have it trimmed, and that will go on, I think, until the perm has been cut out. I think it's on its way to recovery now, thanks to Patrick. Thanks, Becky. Good. I'm on to Rick's Rock Report, which is fun. This is, kind of news and gossip about rock stars, singers. This one made me laugh. This is entitled Gun Law. America's been an ideal place for Roxy to tour, especially for their gunner drummer, Paul. I'm a real gun fanatic. It's just what you want to hear, isn't it? Paul told me as I cowered in my seat and spent as much of my spare time as I can at shooting clubs. Trouble was, in America, I felt like a baddie in a cowboy film, even looking at a gun. You see, for some reason, in some states, they wouldn't even let me handle a gun, let alone buy one. Perhaps it's because they think they've got all the crack shots, and if they let some polite British guy touch a gun, it would have gone off all over the shop and hurt someone. That's a bit strange. This one is about Alice Cooper, which Those of you who remember the 70s will certainly remember Alice Cooper. This is Alice for the Alice for the Chop. You're going to find this hard to believe, but although Alice Cooper may look like a weirdo, he's really just a man about the house. Really, by his own admission, there's really nothing more that he enjoys more than relaxing in front of the TV and watching those dumb American quiz shows all day long. I never really get bored with them, Alice said. But there is another reason why I prefer to sit and watch TV, and I don't often leave my hotel room, and that's because if I've got shows to do, anything else would just tire me out. You see, just being on stage for an hour, I use up as much energy as a lumberjack working for 8 hours. How the hell does he know? And I think unlikely as well. Still, phew, it's a hard life. Still, I bet Alice gets paid more an hour than a lumberjack does. What a weird, made-up story that was. And lastly, this is about Midge Ure, when Midge Ure was still in Slick before he moved on to Ultravox. And this is called Comb Again, Midge, which is a play on words, isn't it? If you think Midge Ure is trying to get you excited when Slick are on stage, then you're right. The girls have come to have a good time, and we love them reaching out and touching us. Midge confessed. That's one reason I've been throwing a comb into the audience, to let them get a part of me. The other reason is that so many people have told me I look like the guy in the Levi's ad that we decided to do leader of the pack on stage with the slick comb and all. And does Midge throw the comb at anyone in particular? Well, he said, he's noticed some stunning girls at the concerts recently. Midge says that he really loves girls who take time and trouble over their appearance and who choose and match their clothes carefully. So get groomed and you could be the next lucky comb catcher. That's really weird. I don't think I'd want someone's manky old comb thrown at me. It's the 70s. Right, we've moved on to the very last problem page, which is really on the last page. And Pat, we've got Pat answering the questions. So let's crack on with these problems. Recently, I've noticed that I've come out in dry, flaky patches under my arms and on my stomach, which itch a lot. I am very worried in case it is VD. I don't know why. Could you tell me what the symptoms of VD are and how it is cured? Because I'm very worried. I don't know why VD has made me laugh. For some reason it has. The symptoms you describe aren't those most associated with venereal disease, but if you think you may have caught VD because you have had sexual contact with someone who may have it, then I would strongly recommend that you go to your nearest special clinic. It's attached to your local general hospital, and have a checkup. However, rashes occur for all sorts of reasons, and the best person to tell you about yours and to treat it is your doctor. Symptoms for VD vary. Sometimes there are few or no symptoms at all, but usually they include scabs and rashes and itchiness around the genitals, the private parts. Thank you for the clarification. And pain and soreness when passing water. Oh, that's it, Pat. She's not really dwelled too much. She's passed the buck, I think, there. Next one is, I recently had sexual intercourse with my boyfriend. Afterwards, someone told me that a boy's sperm can live inside you for a very long time. I don't know why it's made me laugh. I'm worried because I haven't yet started my periods, and he reached his climax when he was inside me. Could I be pregnant? Pat gets very angry about the lack of contraception. I think she's going to get angry now. If you didn't use any form of contraception at all, there is a risk that you may be pregnant, even though you haven't started your periods. I would suggest that you have a pregnancy test just to make sure. You can go to your doctor for this, or to the family planning clinic, or a chemist which advertises this service. Or, bloody hell, or send a sample of early morning urine in a clean bottle to a private laboratory. To a private laboratory which advertises this service. Some do free of charge. Here's the clean bottle. I don't know why I was then thinking of a milk bottle. I've really gone off on one in my head. However, it is possible that this time you have been lucky. A boy's sperm can only survive inside a girl's womb, and so fertilise a ripened egg. Oh God, we're going back to ripened eggs again. Sick of ripened avocados. A ripened egg for a couple of days, so don't worry about becoming pregnant in a month's time or something like that. But just let me add one final word. It is silly and irresponsible to have sex without using contraception. You are only asking for trouble if you don't use some form of protection. I knew Pat would get angry, so she did. This is... Could you help me, please? My boyfriend has noticed that his pubic hair is coming out. As gay? No, I'm joking. Is this normal? He is very embarrassed and worried about this. He is 17, by the way. I like that clarification. As if pubic hair coming out at a different age would be good or bad, I don't know. Anyway, 17. Pat says, it is perfectly normal and ordinary and okay for people of all ages and both sexes to lose small amounts of hair regularly from all over the body. Hair, whether it grows on your head, under the arms, or wherever, is constantly dying off and being replaced by a fresh growth. When a hair dies, it comes out of the follicle or root to make room for a new hair to grow. And this is why, whenever you brush your hair, you find hairs in your brush. If, however, your boyfriend is finding that he is losing so much hair that it is noticeable, leaving bare patches and so on, he should see his doctor, because he may have some disorder, oh dear, or infection, which needs clearing up. But I'm sure it's nothing too serious. Oh, Pat's over it. Pat's moved on. The last letter I've picked out is, I'm very worried. My boyfriend and I have been petting regularly. For God's sake, the petting. Have been petting regularly, and I'm wondering if I'm still a virgin. Also, is there any chance of my becoming pregnant this way? I have missed my period, and I'm worried sick. Oh, God, Pat's going to tell her off. If your boyfriend did not have sperm on his fingers when he petted with you, then you won't be pregnant. Petted with you. The only way you can become pregnant is if fresh sperm. Fresh sperm is placed in your vagina. The most normal way for this to happen is by sexual intercourse. But cases have been known of girls who become pregnant after a petting session in which the boy reached a climax and then put his fingers with sperm on them into her vagina. Your period may just be late or irregular. Sorry, I'm just thinking of fresh sperm again. Your period may just be late or irregular, but do have a pregnancy test just to make sure. Technically, you are still a virgin. If by virgin, that's in inverted commas, you mean someone who hasn't had sexual intercourse. If you mean virgin to mean someone whose hymen is not torn or stretched, then you may still be one, or you may not. Frankly, Pat doesn't care. You see, you may have stretched or torn your hymen yourself if you have been using internal sanitary protection or taking part in any vigorous exercise. That's it. Okay, Pat's over it. Oh, well, I enjoyed that romp. through the magazine. And the advert on the back cover is is staying smooth with Nair. It's a girl showing off her lovely hairless body. Presumably all her hair has fallen out, like the poor boy in the letter. The next time you tackle unwanted hair, remember this. Nair gently dissolves away hair below the skin surface, tapering each hair in the process. That means regrowth takes longer to show and is inconspicuously fine when it does. So yeah, it's just just some lovely hair removal cream. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I did. So that was OK and High magazine for August the 7th, 1976. And I'll see you next time. Bye.